Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Well, it's been over 24 hours and all brakes are lock solid. The rears may be let off a little bit, but all in all, 0 leaks overnight. We are done. Now, of course, we will be doing one more bleed after we fully adjust the brake drums, the shoes, front and back, and get it moving a little bit. But really, for the most part, that's it. No leaks. Held pressure for, that was almost 26 hours it hold pressure for. So that is absolutely awesome. More than what I thought it would do. But yeah, we're good. There's no leaks. We're topped up. We're full. Everything is cleaned off on the car itself for fluid. But as you can see, I kind of fibbed a little. I said I was going to clean, but I actually went and got another beer and then just sat on my butt and waited for the storm to come through last night. So, before I do anything here, time to tidy everything in the shop. There we go. Clean. Floor clean, everything picked up, all toozle gone. Everything is good to go. Now, if you look down in here, right there, look at that, bushings. Nah, not really. I use the old ones. What I end up doing is switching sides and turning them over. Like the flat spot was mostly squished this way from the way they're clamped. So I switched sides, turned it up on edge, and they're tight. I don't know how long they're going to last. They are still a little rubber, but I got them in there on both sides tightened down. Got the little stretch supports tightened down. I even tightened down the clamps here on the bottom of my, I guess, front drag link, I guess you call it. A stabilizer bar. Yeah, so the front end is done. It's complete. Everything right across is tight as it's going to be for now. I'm definitely on the lookout for those bushings still. I need a 2" by 2" square on the outside with a 3/4 inch hole is what I need. So also underneath, I tightened up my emergency brake housing, the block. If you guys remember back, I had a little transmission leak there. And they were only calling for like, I think it was 18 pounds. And that's like, I put a wrench on it and I can, there's so much more turnability, I guess you could say. So I turned them in a little further. I figured around 22 to 23 pounds. And I wiped it down. I put a blue bucket under there just to see if that's going to stop dripping. Brakes and everything on the back is cleaned up, put aside. Tires are next to go on. I'll probably throw the front tires on. But I leave the rears off because next I got to get my fuel line finished. That's right, I need a fuel line. You know, back when I was running this thing, you guys are giving me some slack, which is good. You know what? You need to be kept in check about running the rubber fuel line all the way to the back. You know, I have to have rubber, of course, from where it comes from up from the frame to the engine. I got to have flexibility there. And of course, back by the tank, where the tank's mounted to where the line goes to the frame, there'll be another little 4" piece there. The concern was from a few of the viewers is that the length of this line, which is the full length underneath here, right behind the tire, that rubber being exposed to rocks and gravel shooting up. And you know what? A guy needs stuff like that. The rubber line was cheap, like almost nothing. But cheap is not always the best way. So I appreciate the input. So the next thing we got to do, before we do a test drive, we have to get that steering column secured. Right now, it's just kind of flopping around up and down. So we have 2 parts to it. Well, one main part. That's the bracket that holds it and bolts it solid to the dash. That other piece you saw over there, that is just the make it look pretty part. The bezel that ends up going around it all and kind of cleans up the dash here right where it goes underneath. Kind of blocks up that hole. Holds in the stainless steel plates on each side for the covers for the switches. or the knobs. So we're gonna get this up in there, get the bolts cranked down. Hopefully she'll hold her tight. There we go, we're all solid now. Got that bezel in there, looking all good all the way around that thing. And while I was down here, I decided to install my emergency brake release. So I'm gonna put my emergency brake on and then release it. We'll be good to go. So nice to get that. There's a funny little clip that I need on the back of that rod though. It's one of those, it's like a metal O-ring with a cross cut in it. You force it over the end of a rod and the teeth kind of grab it so it doesn't fall off. I need to get a couple of those to hold that rod on permanently, but that's two more things out of the way. First item up, my fuel line. So yes, this is it, stainless steel, 5/16 fuel line on the inside with the polypropylene or whatever the word is. The good layer inside that's good for life for using diesel fuel, regular fuels, and things with ethanol and whatnot in them. That's the big bonus. The biggest bonus is though, it is flexible to a point. I ain't putting too many sharp 90s in her, but it is an actual full stainless steel braid. Not the cheap junk. They don't give that away. But trying to I'm bleeding again. Jeez. Anyway, they don't give that stuff away. I thought about running the hard line, and you know what? After doing the brake line, I'm so done with that. That is not going to happen again unless I have to. So starting at the front this time, I'm going to be able to work my way along that rail, and I got a different route I'm going to take to the tank so I don't have to do the crazy little jump around that they did through the wheel well originally. So I think that's going to work. I got a bunch of these little clamps here that I can use to go around that so I don't have metal to metal. And this is a 20, I think it was a 20-foot roll or 24, one or the other. 20-foot roll. Car is only 19 feet from tip to tip, so we should be good. Starting right about here and working right to the middle of the other wheel well underneath. We're going to get her done. Now the next item in the box. Not what I want, but to be honest, I don't even know what I need to do what I want to do. I want to incorporate the original throttle pedal into the 64, and she is a big, bulky beast. But it's got the nice stainless steel layer inside of it. The rubber's still good. She's a little iffy on the back, but it is all just a bolted on bracket onto this big, heavy. It's a piece of metal cased in rubber, and I really wanted to use that again. But being so big, I really didn't know what to do for a pedal for it. So Speedway motors, I think Fel-Pro makes. They're probably to the same factory. They look so similar. But this is a honker. I think so. This would be something you'd put on a dragster. Got a nice sticker. Oh, got a few stickers, the little ones on the side. This is something you'd put on a dragster, I think, for doing the quarter mile. She's a beefy unit. She is a honking unit. Wah, 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 wah. But I needed something big to try to fit it to it. So it comes with all the goodies. Got the cable, got some brackets to hold the cable up. Also where it goes onto the carburetor. It has my lock nut there, and also my guide. So that's good. That's pretty simple stuff. But the pedal itself, I don't know, man. I tried looking for cabled or aftermarket pedals for any car, and it just hasn't really seemed to be much out there at all. Everything, like 90% of what I find, is electronic. Even for the old cars, they're just electronics is what they are. They're assuming you're going over to like a Holley Sniper system or something that you're going to put in the car. Would be nice, I won't lie, but not on this guy's budget. So I saw a couple of these. This one's Speedway. Another one looks absolutely identical. It says Mr. Gasket. I'm sure it's probably the same people making it. Again, when you get a box and it doesn't even tell you made in China, it tells you it must be the quality. There must be quality built into that. But really, you're not gonna see much of this anyway. This is right up underneath the dash kind of thing, you know, where your foot goes. I'll be mounting this directly to the floor, get in position, make sure my holes are all lined up, and I will put sealant under this as well, so there's no vibration at all and no leaks coming through. And my carpet, I'm actually going to cut the carpet out when I get it, because the carpet's almost as thick as this bracket. So once I get this in place, I know where it's going to go. Paint this part black, carpet will come up basically flush right around the edge. It's going to hide the majority of it. It'll blend in with the color. But this part here, this is where I don't know if I remove this to try to attach this, or if I can attach this somehow to this by cutting some out. But you can see here, this pedal, this is the hard part of the pedal here. This is all metal on the outside, just with a rubber cover and the stainless steel. And they got a bracket that's bolted through into this thing. This bolt's rotted right off, so I need to take it apart and clean it up. But somehow, if I can make a bracket, or somehow cut this piece off somehow and fit all in around here, that I can fit it inside here, this is not too bad. I can make a bracket up in here, no problem, into the metal, put another bolt. This is just kind of lined just so it travels in this nice smooth motion. And then of course you got to stop here so it's not going too far. You don't want to be pulling solid against your carburetor underneath there. You don't want to be pulling hard on that arm. You'd want, when the carburetor stops turning, be ideal for this to stop turning. So we'll work on that. But yes, I think this will be the ideal thing. As far as this pedal moves, this part here is actually where your cable's attached to. This is the only movement. It's really only moving 2 inches. It looks like it's a big movement, but it's really only 2 inches of pull that you're putting on that cable. So we are fast forwarding about 2 weeks since the last time I was just talking a few seconds ago there about the car. Waited on some parts. I have quite a other project on the go here as well. I wanted some cabinets in here, and Buddy was tearing out his kitchen, getting rid of all the old cabinets and whatnot, and he basically said, you come and help, get them out in one piece the best you can have them all. Well, I got them all out in one piece, and the last few days here, almost a week, I've been spending time fixing them, tightening them up, nails, screws, and whatnot, clean off any dirt. All this pile over here, I got it all scraped down, all sanded, ready to go. I got another set of drawers here as well too, that's sliding with a door. That's going to be a stand for my fridge. Another one that needs to be sanded, getting ready to go. But this is the final product right here. I did one just to kind of go here, test it out to see what it looked like. And you know what? It almost looks too good for my shop. It turned out awesome. I put the metal hardware, which, you know what, it's a little bit different style I had in my parents' house growing up. But you know what? It's that 70s style. These cupboards are a custom set of cupboards made in the 70s. And so I just blasted that, I don't know what it is, that metal that's kind of got like a bronze, brushed bronze look to it, a little bit of black mixed with it. They blasted up nice, gave it a good texture. Paint seems to be sticking good. As for the cabinets, tops, sides, and bottoms are made out of birch plywood, 3/8 thick. The back is made out of, looks like just spruce plywood, 1/4 inch thick. Then all fascia on the front, everything you see is solid oak. The doors are 1/2 inch plywood, oak plywood, and then everything else was a veneer that was put on there. I took all the veneers off. They're just, again, 1/4 inch oak veneer, but all the doors and the poles and everything, solid oak. Probably too good for the shop, but you know what? $3.99 is my favorite. All it's doing is take me some extra time, and hopefully it'll look great when it's finished. All right, first note of business. Flexible braided steel line. Not as flexible as one would think. But it snakes, we'll call it. So, have it on the pump, coming off. go into the frame, and I managed to get it in the exact same clip that the original line is. I just pulled it out. I've had it in here the whole time, the last stub that comes out from the frame. So I managed to get it in there, and along the side you can see it go, and then right here it goes into the frame. I'll get underneath there and show you. Alright, so it comes out the side of the rail here. There's a clip right here. I got it in the original clip. And it meshes really nice. That's one thing, but the flexible part of it is it molds nice to things. But then it's got, see if I can get my hand out of the way. Where's my light? A little better. There's a weird dimple in the side of the frame here. It's punched in this way and then popped out this way, and it makes this nice little curve. It's a nice smooth edge. So then we go through the frame, and I had to fish that along. I have to move again. We fish that down the rail, and it comes out through the box section right here. And then it came through one more hanger right here. Now this little out, up and out again. This was a bugger of a transition to make. This is where I'm telling you, it's flexible, but it's not hose by no means. It's fairly rigid, but it's nice. Man, does it look nice. And now I'm just kind of got the bundle here, and I got to work my way over to the rocker panel, because this is this big hollow spot inside here. Now I have the original clips here that go along, but they're going to be no good. They're made for the little tiny steel line, so I got those rubber ones, and we'll just get this all done up nice, move it into the side, have it tucked up, make sure about a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch up above the ground so nothing's seen hanging down. Be able to put a screw in there, a self-tapper, and use those clamps with the little rubber insert, and I'll be able to lay this in. I got to get to the bottom here, and originally it went kind of down and around, up in the wheel weld. Ridiculous. I'm going to get to this part of the stub frame here, and there's holes. You can see there's holes here, but there's holes that go straight through. I'm going to make a nice gentle curve, go through the rear stub frame member to the inside here. Then all I have to do is follow the body line up and over, and I'm like right at the tank. You can see right there, that shiny part there, that is where the tank outlet is. So it's going to be much easier to go up and over the axle than it is to go down the rail, in around the wheel well. Then it kind of jumps over the frame, just like the brake line did on that side, which I didn't have a choice. I had to do that. And then it would follow the arc all the way around and up to the tank. This way, I can get on the inside of the tank, right over. I'm going to make sure I'm not over top of the drive shaft in case something stupid was to happen and my line came loose and it fell down. So I'll make sure I stay to the side a little bit until I get back there enough out of the way, and then I'll work my way up and around and into the tank. All right, so under the back of the 64, I've got the line run all the way from the front. I got it. I need to find one little something to secure a little bit of a loose spot here, and it's the transition where it goes from, it's like 12 inches inside the car out to the edge of the rocker panel where the original one went. The other one was made out of metal, so it kind of held itself up, but it's just a little bit of a flop there. So I need a smaller clamp. There is a bracket there that would normally be right here. That's part of the seat support on the other side. I think I could put a small hole in there and put another little bracket on. And I'm missing one grommet right where I come out of the frame right here. I have one on the other side. I have my grommet up the front side. I'm missing one. I need one more 3/4 inch grommet to go there to be good. But then I come up on my frame rail, tucked up nice up top here, away from the wheel well, away from the axle, nothing out of the way. I managed to stay all the way over to the right hand side of the car, away from the drive shaft. And then I just made nice sweeping movement all the way up here, right into the tank, which is up on top here, which it sucked. I'll tell you that much. This stuff is, man, this is tough. And that plastic liner inside, it don't like expanding at all, pushing over things. So what I did is I took my heat gun, just gave it a little bit of heat, and the barb that goes in the end of that hose, it made it just a little bit easier to get in there. And then when I had to tighten it all down, tighten it together, I put a little more heat on it just to make that plastic a little bit softer, so when I tightened it down, hopefully we'll have no leaks. And I don't know if we're gonna get to that point in today's video. I'm hoping, but I do have some of this line left, and I want to see if I can put it up front. All right, well, it went on there, but that line is not proper by any means. If I do use it, I'm gonna have to get the proper fitting to come out of the fuel pump to make a better transition, because I have to make such a large loop here in the line. Not that it's a big deal, it's rigid, it ain't going anywhere, like it's not flopping, it's pretty solid, but it really does not fit in there nice. And it doesn't fit in as nice as the rubber hose did. I tried to put it down here between the engine block and the distributor, but then it rubs against the hard edge of the engine, and I can't really get a tube down in there. I brought it up on top, which is a nice soft edge here, but you know, now it's touching my valve cover. And this end is on here on plastic liner inside onto a plastic fuel filter with a gear clamp. That's all I got that goes on there. So I have a feeling this is going to leak. If it does, well, it comes off right away. I was able to pop the other hose off, no problem. This is not a big deal. Like I said, this hose probably, like the black hose, I left a piece on the end there because I need it to be flexible. More flexible than that stainless steel stuff. I left a piece on there, but that black hose is good for about 5 years. This would be extremely easy to replace I'd be safe every 2 to 3 years if I have this that long. That would be the easiest thing to do. I say if I have this long, I'm just saying, just in general. So yeah, every 2 to 3 years, replace that line. Be safe. If it was just rubber, it'd be fine. But you know what? It's on here now. If it works, well, it works. We'll give it a try. But that's it. Fuel tank is connected to the engine. Now I think we're gonna go get a jug of fuel. We're gonna put in 5 gallons in here. It'll be no ethanol, so it'll be good for a long time. And I'll put a little bit of an additive in it, a little bit of stabilizer, because whatever's in there will probably be here the whole winter. I don't want to, though I could run the tank completely empty because it is a fully sealed plastic liner in there. I could leave it empty all winter, which I might, but I think I'll put a little additive in there because it will be sitting in here for a few months. Because once this is running, then we'll be back and forth outside, getting ready for paint. The temperatures outside, the seasons are changing. It's getting cooler and cooler, so we're right at the place where it's like 25 to 26 degrees during the day. So if I get an early paint on a Saturday morning, as soon as the light comes up, we'll have a good day. We can roll it out, bake it in the sun, and I think we're going to be golden. So let's go grab a jug of fuel, put it in. We'll pop that off and get it high. So I can try to get all the air out of those filters that I always see people running them with air at the top. Drives me insane. I like to have no air. And then if I do see air, well, then I know I have an issue somewhere between tank and here. I know there's air getting into the system somewhere. So we'll get that up. We'll get another longer hose on it into a bucket. And we'll get it up high and we'll get that engine cranking so we can push all the air out of that all the way to the top. Let's get a jug of gas. So, there's nothing to it but to do it. I'm going to put 5 gallons in here. Going to throw a pan underneath that filler neck and also up by that pump as well too. We're going to see if she'll hold some fuel and if that gauge will move. All right. That's it. There's a little splash left in there. But no dripping at the back of the tank yet. Don't think so. No, nothing at the back. It's definitely over the spout. So, I guess next we'll start getting that thing pumping up here. I don't see any drips there as well too, though that might actually be higher than where the tank is at the moment. So we're gonna have to run to the pickup. So, I'm gonna disconnect my filter, get a longer tube so I can put it in a jug up here. And without the engine on, without ignition, we'll cross it and we'll just get it pumping fuel. 2 things. 1, the pump fuel, but 2, it's been sitting for a while. So I don't want it to start up. I want to get some oil through that pump flowing again, just make sure everything is good. All right, temporary fuel gauge line set up here, or sender line, because we don't have a rear harness. So we are showing probably a 16th, about a 16th of tank, just under an 1/8, which I guess that works out pretty good, because that would mean if my gauge is reading empty, I still got about 15 liters to go, which is bonus. That's what I don't want. I don't want it to hit empty, car dies. So I'm okay with that. That's a good thing. All right, we're gonna now purge that line. I'm gonna go in. Actually, got to turn the ignition off, and I'll just be jumping it here on the solenoid. Like I said, just to make sure it doesn't start. We just want to prime the line. All right, that didn't take long at all. We're fuel, but you know what? It's so weird. Even with it cranking over like this, I can't get the bubble to clear at the very top. Maybe that's just the way they are. Maybe that's just the way it is. Now, one thing I want to check. Are we getting fuel pressure? So just cranking this here, the pressure should stay long enough that I can turn the key on and the light not go on, I think. Let's find out here. So we're pumping good gas. That's not a problem. I can hear it going back to the tank. If I turn that ignition on, does it build enough pressure to turn that light out? Yes, it does. That's perfect. So it holds the oil pressure for a bit. Not a lot, but it does hold it for a bit. So now it's time to hook up the carb. There it goes. The light just come on, so that pressure bled off. I know she's working. No, the light's working. I'm assuming the gauge still works. We're going to find that out in a minute here. We're going to hook that up. And we're going to run the 64. Not very long. I'm closed up my garage here. But we're going to run the 64 self-contained, all on its own, for the first time in 40 plus years. All right. Filter is on. I'm going to get you guys set up here. Actually, we're going to get some ear mufflers. Ear mufflers. Of course, you know, the drill. Uncut. Manifolds are actually, they're even colder than room temperature in here. It's saying that it's 18 degrees in here. 16.2. Always got to prove the cold start. There we go. 16 over here. 16 degrees. So uncut, cold start. This thing hasn't been running in, I can't remember when. You guys might know better than me. I can't remember when the last time we ran. It's gotta be, it might even be closer to 2 months. So, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, little bubble. Oh, there we go. I see some fuel squirting. Let's flash this baby up. Bring some thunder. Or not. Yeah, baby. Oh, gotta check oil pressure. Nope. About 45. Yeah! God, I love Yeah, baby. That, holy God. She's a little rich, let me tell you. She's running a little rich. But let me tell you, that'll never get old in a million years. Oh, but, man, there's no leaks up front either. Nothing leaking from the back tank. We are running on our own. Oh, God, that feels good. I don't know if you have any idea how good that feels. That oil is still crystal clear. And yes, no miles. There's about an hour and a half of runtime on breaking this in. But, of course, my biggest worry was doing this myself. Having a leaky head gasket, something not sealed, a crack somewheres. Somewheres where she's pulling water and coolant, or I should say coolant into the engine. But we are good. We are good. Man. Well, you know what's next. I got to get that pedal this weekend. I got to get that pedal somehow done. I got 4 tires ready to go on it. It's time. I'm going to have to just move this junk and make a pile in the corner or something. But it's go time. Definitely go time. And there we have it. I decided just go for it. You know what? I can mess around trying to mock it up, but you know what? It is what it is. So I just went for it, and you know what? That turned out pretty darn good. I don't think there's any issues with that at all. That pedal, once I cut that down, just that fit in there so nice. It's a little, just a hair wide, but this would be on the inside, so the tunnel for the transmission will be right here, so you're not really going to see down there. And like I said, once this is going to be finalized, I'll give this a little bit of paint. It's going to blend in with the black, blend in with that carpet. But I think that's a pretty darn good job, so I can use the original pedal in the 64. And there you go, boys and girls. Pedal is in there, permanent. Now this little rubber piece here, it's kind of flexed up a little bit. Normally it would be flat like that. It's got about a 1/4 inch maybe, a little almost 1/2 inch underneath for the carpet. Will fit perfect. And she's got good movement. Nothing gets in the way at all. And of course I still have my adjustment back here for my stop, because you know the end of the stroke of the carb might not be there. It might be right there. So that is perfect. All bolted in and tight. I stuck some 2x6s in here, kind of at the back set of the bolts where the seat would go. And of course the seat's got some good adjustment. And also, I just realized, on that side I'm good. On this side, I forgot to drill and mark the holes where the seat goes in. You can see over there. See the hole? One there, one there. I forgot to mark them. So the brackets underneath are the original brackets, so they'll have a hole for marking, so I'll know where to go. But yeah, just like I was trying to line it up across there with the holes. I was like, where'd they go? And then yeah, I never did put them back in once I put the floor in. Whoa. What a stink. Whew. All right, pedal is working. But two things. One, need a return spring on that carburetor. And two, it's not really rooted where I want it. It's definitely not rooted in a good position. But just to make sure everything was going to work, this is all I had. So all it came with, the kit, is this one of these little, I don't know what you want to call it, these little grab thingies. Put the wire through and you put the screw in. You can see how it comes over, and it's actually hooking right on this edge. It needs to be on this side and to be a nice straight pull. But this little peg down low hits the bottom. This is, I don't know if you can see it, there's a backing here, and this is a formed piece. So this cannot go on the inside, it doesn't fit. And also these here are all different sizes. And I need something better. I could probably drill the top hole. I don't think that'd be an issue. I worry that I hook it hard and it slams it. So I guess I have to be careful. Maybe hold this down well. But yeah, maybe I'll put that there. But you know what? I got a day here before I can worry about it anyway. Well, boys, girls, my day just went to hell in a handbasket real fast. Oh my God. You know the saying, two steps forward, one step back? Well, we have a serious situation on our hands right now. God. All right, so I was gonna redo my throttle cable here. I got a longer, whatever you call those things that you put in the hole so the cable goes to. I got a longer one that's gonna be able to come out on the back side here, and I can tighten it up, and I can put just a nice straight line right from cable to where the cable attaches, and it'll be a nice pull. So I lined it up, looked good. I thought I'll loosen up my cable here to turn it. So I turned it and I started tightening. And it didn't seem quite right. As I was tightening the bolt, you'll notice this is almost flush here. They're all this way. I take my ratchet off, or my wrench. You see how I got some thread sticking out? Yeah? Watch the stud now. Can you see that? There you go, it's a better view. There we go. It's pulled out of the intake. Oh, man, that's depressing. Look at that. God. Threads are gone. Like every thread come out when I pulled that out of there. If you guys remember back, this is used. I got this used. It looked like brand new. I cleaned it up a bit. There's barely any, there wasn't even any real gouge marks from where the bolts went on into the intake to hold it on. I guarantee you the guy knew about that. You know what? If I could find him on Facebook Marketplace, I would call him right now and just tear a strip off him. Oh my God. Well, intake's not coming off, so it's going to be repaired, done in place. So let's see what this thread is. There we are. There's a perfect fit right there. That's what it is. So that is 5/16 by 18 national course. Nice, easy measurement. Nothing crazy. Well, I guess we're going to be trying a Healy coil. It is aluminum, but you know what? This is still metal into aluminum, so hopefully it's permanent. I'll put it in. It will be permanent. It should be going permanent Loctite. All I got is metric ones from back in the day when I did a lot of metric stuff. I don't know if you guys ever, I'm sure everyone's seen a helicoil. For those you don't, it's literally like a set of threads. So you drill the hole bigger, thread in one of these little special little helicoils. They come with a special little tap to put the hole in, and you got a tool that grabs the little nub right there you see sticking on the end, and it twists it down in the hole, and then you put a bolt, your regular bolt, or in my case, my stud, back on top of it, holds it in there good. Not what I was looking forward to doing. Oh, there's a little tool right there on the side. You can see it better. Not what I was looking forward to doing at all. That is, man, I almost wanted to cry. Yeah, there's no way that guy didn't know about that. He knew. When he took his carburetor off and his studs out, he saw it was stripped. Probably cleaned up a little bit. That's why I threw it on Marketplace. And unfortunately, it looked good to me. I put them in. I tightened it down. It seemed fine, but I must have been right at that max. One extra turn, and there goes all the threads. So the ones I'm using are the 5/16 by 18 National Course. That's what the stud is that has to go into my intake. So these are the little helicoils, the new little threads that are going to go in there. Now these are stainless steel, and of course they match the thread to my stud. And this is what's going to take up the hole gap that's on the intake. We're going to drill it out, which they give you the proper drill bit to get the right size. We're then going to tap it. They got a bit of a point, so we're going to have to watch to make sure I can go deep enough. Usually, most of these kits are flatter. They'll have like a blind hole tap, which is a little bit nicer. These are a cheaper tap. It is China. Now, again, when I looked at the kit, so just what you see here, 4 helicoils was $26.95 here in Canada. The whole kit, everything you see, the 140 pieces, was like, I think it was $39.78 plus taxes, like $40. So to me, it was a no-brainer. I guarantee you I'm going to use this stuff at some point in time. So you know what? I might as well get the whole thing. But that's her. That is awesome. So first thing I'm going to do, going to go over there. It means this has a gauge set into it already. Going to drop that in the hole and see how deep we go. All right. Hopefully this is going to give you a good view. So just got a towel over the intake, make sure you don't drop any pieces down in there. We're going to be vacuuming that out anyway. But there's the hole we got. Now this hole, hopefully you can see this, is ending probably about here. I still got like another inch of solid material I can go in, and I'm going to have to go a little deeper. So first, we'll just get the hole drilled. We'll go as straight and as slow as we can here. And hopefully you don't run into any problems. All right, I went a little deeper, so I'm going to go get my gauge and take a look. All right. Yeah, that's way better. Way better. That's going to be perfect. That is going to be perfect. All right, I'm going to vacuum, suck all the grindings off there, and we'll get ready to tap that hole. We got our tap here. Now again, like I said, you need the handle from a tap and die set. You can buy them separately, but they don't give you one. You could use a wrench on that, but you're torquing so much on one side that it doesn't really do a good job to make sure that you're straight. There you go there. So we look pretty straight. Just gonna work it in nice and slow. Get a turn in, then go back a turn. Turn in, then back a bit. And the aluminum is not as picky because it's so soft, but you want to clean out the threads and the flutes that are in your tap as you go. And there we go, I feel it getting tight. So we're not at the bottom of the hole, or we're not threaded to the bottom of the hole. You remember the end of these taps, they taper off and there's no thread on them. So we're getting right there, and probably at the bottom of the hole it's getting tight. So now we're gonna take it back out. We'll do the same thing. We're just gonna make sure those threads are cut the best we can the whole way out here. Then we'll get the vacuum and we'll clean that out again. All right, there we go. See, we got a nice, beautiful set of threads in there again. We're just gonna run the tap just by hand. Make sure it's good. So we're doing real good there. You know, I'm gonna run that down there one more time. There's a little bit of burring. I just wanna make sure that that helicoil goes in well and doesn't stretch itself out too much. But it does feel pretty good. So I'm gonna run through that one more time, vacuum it out, and then we'll get our coil. All right. Got my helicoil set to depth here. And it will not focus. Come on. One of those days. Anyway, there we go. Got to set the depth. So we're going to get right in there. And hopefully it should thread in nicely. Going to leave this thing covered. So all I need to do is drop something down in there. All the way down into the intake. Now, a lot of people Loctite these in. I don't know, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, I don't know, I'm not going to. I worry that if I have to get it out, or something happens, that I won't be able to. So there I am. Well, I'm a little bit proud. A little higher than it needs to be, so I'm going to have to adjust the collar here just a little bit. Remember, the studs have a little bit of a shoulder on them that needs to just recess into the manifold just a little bit. Ooh, it's getting pretty tight. Just a hair. I'm at the bottom of the threads. There we go. There is nothing's sticking above that hole. Grab a stud, see how it fits. There we go. Just like it's supposed to. Beauty. So I'm gonna double nut that so I can set it in there. That should make it permanent. There we are. Repair is made. Now, compared to the other ones, I got about an 1/8 inch of the shoulder sticking up here. I left a little more here because I have 2 brackets. I have the bracket for the kickdown that has to go on the stud, and then I have the bracket for the throttle cable as well that needs to go on there. So I made sure I just left a little bit longer, because you always want a thread, at least a thread or 2 past your nut to make sure that you're using it all, getting a good bite. But there we go. It is in, it's fixed. You know what? Yeah, I probably overreacted a little bit when it first broke. It just, oh, that sinking feeling when you break something new. There we go. Feels kind of strange spending an evening doing a bunch of work and you're just right back to you were, 3 days ago. But we are all back on. Bracket's good and solid now. Got a crank down. Got my throttle cable going in a straight line right from the jacket right to the arm. Kickdown. Well, that is the next thing. I am basically out of time tonight, but that's something I never really addressed. I think I got the right amount of slack in it to where the throttle is just into the 4 barrels. Now, this car wasn't set up for 4 barrel the way I found it, and then my manual doesn't really show a 4 barrel carburetor setup for the kickdown. It has good detail for the 2 barrel, but I don't really know where I should set this at realistically. I guess it's just going to be a crapshoot as long as I'm ready for it. I'm not just, thinking I'm going to put a little more bean store and the whole onion goes down there and just takes off. So that'll be the next thing. Tomorrow we'll get underneath. Got to double check that leak again. I have a feeling that there's a drip hanging off it. And tied up the kickdown. I'll give it a little extra slack. There's nothing wrong with it not kicking in or kicking in really late, because then it's easy for me to, go up on that. If I just start it up, push the pedal, and boom, geez, kicks down right away when I'm just trying to do a normal, I don't know, maybe a 60 kilometer crawl up or something like that, then I don't want to be peeling tires off or taking off too quick or breaking something. So it's always easy to come up. If it's right at the top already, it makes it kind of rough going down. But we are back to where we were. Actually, we're a little further ahead. We got a seat in there. Got to put the nut in the steering wheel because that would suck. Front wheel's got to go on. Rear wheel's got to go on. Double check the kickdown and that leak. I think that's it. Move some stuff out of the way. See how fast we can get the 64 out of the shop. Anyway, love y'all.